Tell me your story.
I was this close to dying from a brain abscess that was misdiagnosed.
Good to know people care, though.
For a lot of people, the MRIs are clear.
You said you had a lot to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said,
I thought it was normal to have like seizures by yourself all the time.
You definitely will feel guilt a lot.
I so appreciate you putting this together.
thank you. Can you have a half-conscious seizure? I'm an epileptic and I haven't had a recorded or confirmed seizure since I was 10. I woke up this morning and my whole body tensed up, including my calf, which is still sore, and I couldn't move, and I was crying and making noise like I couldn't control it. I think even TMI, I peed a little bit, not even enough to do anything. Could this possibly be a seizure? And should I talk to my doctor? I'm already on Trileptal for bipolar. This has lasted about a minute, or that's at least what it feels like.
Yeah, those are focal aware. I'm going to jump on the Trileptal. Did they say what they're taking for as an anticonvulsant?
They did not.
If
Trileptal is also for epilepsy, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a bottle of that here, and I don't have any bipolar that I know of. I would hope not, but I have some of that Trileptal.
I wonder if they got diagnosed bipolar, but they really do have epilepsy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Misdiagnosis.
But they're treating them for epilepsy. That's why I'm jumping on this Trileptal. I got that right, Pookie? That is an epilepsy medication.
Yeah.
And
they haven't had a seizure recorded since 10. But yeah, now it's getting maybe
get an
flashbacks.
Yeah, get a camera. Get those cameras. I don't, yeah. This feels kind of like yeah, right, Angel, a misdiagnosis. Why tell them? Yeah, I'll shut up now.
All right.
No, but there's multiple epilepsy medicines that do treat bipolarness.
Yeah, that they have hijacked for treating bipolar. Oh, wait, I said that.
I think Lamictal is one of them.
I got another one here. It says, any advice for moving out of the USA? So here's my dilemma. I've not left the country permanently for a few reasons, but mainly because I'm terrified of not having a neurologist to access my medication. I have a few options. I speak English and Spanish, and I'm willing to learn a whole new language, but I'm worried about healthcare. I'm on a couple different meds, and I don't want them to deny my meds for some reason. I want to know everyone's experience with this. If you have moved from the US and where, and how did you go about getting your meds and a new neurologist before it runs out? Are the specific countries who have better access to meds? I know that Canada has better access to hospitals, but I don't know about medication.
Yes, medications.
Yes.
Anywhere has better healthcare than here.
Oh, well, did not know that. I thought it was maybe just Canada had the free meds. Oh, Europe too?
Europe is much better than here. There's no problem getting into doctors. There's no problem getting medications. Everything is free.
There are very long waiting lists. Appointments sometimes, like if your neurologist wants you to see an epileptologist, they're so far and few between. You could wait a year. Some people come to the US to see the epilepsy specialists because the wait time is so long in the UK. Yeah, it's free, but I'd be afraid to, linger like that.
Yeah, the UK is one thing, and that's one spot, but most other places, it's not like that at all.
Right?
The people
Our
that
health-
I've spoken to from those areas.
Yeah, our healthcare sucks. Yeah, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're letting them know what we need. That's all.
They don't care. They're only interested in profit.
Any advice on moving out? I suggest moving out if you can. But the thing about finding a doctor can be stressful, because then you're gonna need to get back when you can't find a doctor. And 2 weeks left of medication and stuff like that.
If you
Yeah.
speak Spanish, move to Spain. It's beautiful there.
There's a comment here, and it says we considered Spain because I was in a Mayo clinic. What is a Mayo clinic? Because there's a Mayo clinic.
That's
Mayonnaise?
a chain. I don't know. I don't want to call it a chain, but I know there's a lot of Mayo clinics around Florida and East Coast that I've seen, and they have a good reputation, pediatric all the way through, for the most part.
What's Mayo?
I don't know the origin, but that's just what they're called, Mayo clinics, and they have a lot of different specialists and doctors, and it's a hospital. It's like a chain of hospitals.
Yeah, like a healthcare company that has multiple hospitals that they run around the country. I think some of them are associated with or tied to research grants and certain programs. My impression has always been that Mayo Clinic is among the top tier healthcare providers that are available, that they employ some of the best doctors, but can also be among the more expensive if you don't have the right insurance either.
Mark, wasn't the original in Minnesota? The original Mayo, wasn't it in Minnesota?
Genius in 1889 by William James Mayo and Charles Horace Mayo. Rochester, Minnesota. You were right.
I wasn't there at that time.
Got a comment here. It says, when I moved to Scotland, I had easy access to NHS, but that was because I was on a student visa. My GP was extremely accommodating, prescribed my meds right away. In order for us to advise you, we'll need to know more about your situation. Do you have a visa for your country, for the country you're in, which you're now residing in? Are there any healthcare options, both private and public? Are you in a transition period? If so, do you have any international health insurance? Were you able to leave the US with a 90-day supply of meds? Do you have your medical records with you? Do you have your meds and your prescription bottles? It's a lot of information to hand someone over Reddit. Where would you go if you left here?
I would definitely have to do the research. I don't know
Let's go
anything
around and
about
see
how
how that
healthcare
goes.
works.
I have
Yeah,
spoken
I have
to
enough of the
some
stuff.
people I know in the desert, and there's a town right over the border in Mexico where the primary language is English. And people live there very well. And I've considered moving there, except my wife won't consider it.
Understandable.
But if I had to leave, that's probably where I would leave. Or I mean, if I had my choice, it would be the coast of Spain.
Nice.
Yeah, or the island of Mallorca. Of course,
James.
I was there 70 years ago, so it might have changed. Or 50 years ago, sorry.
Hey, James, you there? Where would you go if you could leave the US?
I I don't know. I honestly don't know. There's too many different places. Just other places I've never been I've never really traveled all that far. So I don't know. honestly. Somewhere in Europe, Germany. I want to go to Germany just because that's where my my ancestry is from.
Munich is really nice. I spent a week there and they've got a really well-developed public transportation system. So friendly for us epileptics.
That'd kind of be anywhere in Europe, though, right? Or most places in Europe have better public transportation than here in
Yeah,
the States.
Definitely Canada. Definitely. After what I went through last year to prove that I was an American. Well, no, it was actually March. It was earlier this year. I had to prove that I had birthright citizenship. So, but I would definitely go to Canada because that's the question of my birthright, and that's where I have family there, but they have struggles in the healthcare system as well. Um, every country, I think, people don't want to be doctors as much as they used to because of the capitalistic, whatever in healthcare. But I would definitely go to Canada.
Raven, where'd you go? An Angel.
I think the UK. I think I will go to the UK. Oh,
Any reason in particular?
nowhere in particular. I would have to definitely look and research, but it just everything sounds better about the UK.
Yeah, UK does sound nice. Never been over the water, so that'd be nice too. Says, did time ever seem to disappear before you got seizures under control? I'm in the process of being diagnosed. I posted another post giving more detail, but current theory is that cerebral vascular changes in one area of my brain are causing me to have focal aware and impaired seizures. I told my babysitter, joke, as I'm currently not allowed to be alone. I'm a 44-year-old female. I was feeling off and would like to go to bed around 9:30 p.m. Suddenly, it's 10 p.m. and it feels like it's only been 15 to 20 minutes since I said this. So I'm just curious if that's common experience for people who aren't having grand malls. I've had an experience where I blinked and it seems like 2 minutes were gone, like I wasn't somewhere I was, and it doesn't seem like I was the other place not too long ago. But I don't know what that's called, and I don't exactly know what an impaired seizure is. Someone please explain. So like impaired, like on alcohol?
Impaired is the opposite of aware. It's just another word for unaware. So they're saying that they're not conscious and aware during the seizure. Like, for instance, an absence seizure where you just like blank out for a while, that would be impaired awareness.
For focals, I started taking this, as most of you know, B12 by Nature's Made. Shout out to Nature's Made. They're right here. Yeah. So for you guys who aren't having grand malls and having focals, that was the question. Yeah, that was to you guys. The first comment here says I have partial focals. I believe that I said that right. The absent seizures and drop attacks, and I will lose huge chunks of time. I will be eating cereal for breakfast, and the next thing I know, it's 1 p.m. Found out these instances were like epileptic events followed by a popsicle state, and usually fall asleep without declining to do so. Sometimes I feel like a seizure, and the terror that accompanies it and sometimes I'm suddenly out of it like a light. The second ones are the ones where I lose time. It's worth asking your doctor about, as asking these questions helped me understand mine. I don't know anyone else with epilepsy, so a lot of my symptoms made me feel, in quote, crazy because they weren't the kind at all that I seen in the movies. I kept asking my doctors, "Are you sure if it was seizures?" And the answer every time was still yes. Missing time sounds like an absent seizure.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay, so I wasn't having a focal, I was having an absent seizure. That's what you're saying?
Sounds like it.
What about the time that I got on the bus? Would that be absent? Would that be focal? Is
I
that
thought absence seizures were a type of focal seizures. Am I wrong?
I
Say
think
that
that has
Yeah.
to do with the origin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it just has to do with like the focal seizures start in one part of the brain, and absent seizures are usually a type of generalized seizure. Because absent seizures involve both sides of the brain. You can have a focal aware. Absent seizures are usually recognized to only be unaware because they are a generalized seizure.
Oh,
So the ones that you can maintain awareness are usually referred to as focal. But so
okay.
many of us have a focal seizure that lasts for like 2 seconds and spreads that, you know, it's just kind of lumped into one, because a lot of us have focal seizures that forget the word, but they turn into the absent, the more
Generalized.
generalized ones. Yeah, yes, but it doesn't always have to be a generalized tonic-clonic. It can be a
Okay.
generalized absent seizure, but it could start as a focal where it might feel like an aura, but an aura is more likely a focal seizure. You could think of it like that.
I guess I just thought the absence seizure was a focal unaware or focal impaired, and now I feel like I should know that because that's what I have.
That's what
Have
I
the
always
doctor explain
understood
it to you.
too. I'm
There's
But
sorry.
different types of absence seizures. Like,
ah,
some people can just go stop and stare at a wall, or stop and pause, and there's time missing, like Pookie said. But then there's things where
But you don't drop. You don't necessarily
yeah,
move
lose
around.
control. Yeah. Sometimes you have those like rapid blinking or like fidgety fingers or something during a absence.
Got it. So it's kind of more about motor function, maybe.
Origin. It's all about the origin and parts of the brain that it affects. An absence seizure will affect both
I
sides of the
don't got it.
brain, but that doesn't mean you lose control of muscles. And
Okay.
yeah,
I obviously need to educate myself better about this. So thank you, Kate.
we're all learning. We're all learning every day. Trust me. We need some flashcards for sure.
Is this normal? I have a ton of doctor's appointments next week, mainly for this persistent migraine. Meds aren't working. I'm wondering if I should actually schedule an emergency appointment or just wait until the upcoming doctor's visit. I'm kind of worried because over the last few days, my family and I have noticed my left eye started to deviate. This has never happened before, and I don't know how to not overreact or scare anyone. What should I do? Eye deviating means like going back inside the socket or looking up, or what's that mean?
Looking
Yeah.
away, maybe. I
it would
think.
be looking at a different direction.
Unwarningly, like your eye just starts wandering.
Yeah. That sounds like an emergency room visit to me. They're always saying if there's any new type of headache or weird headache related symptoms, go and get your head checked.
Not to mention that might cause a headache,
Yeah.
and the cause of deviation is probably neurological.
Yeah.
So pre-existing
Could
condition, new symptom, yeah. That
be
warrants
part of
a walk.
what you call it? Concussion.
Get a blood pressure cuff, monitor blood pressure. Yeah, all of it. Cover every base, right?
First comment here says, I wouldn't say this is normal at all. If you're in the UK, I suggest a 111 call to see what advice they can give. If you're elsewhere, the non-emergency line, they will tell you if you need to go to the hospital. I hope the best. Another one says, I have pretty bad headaches and I never go on a regular basis. I occasionally got headaches, and even less frequently, I got headaches to the point that it put me in bed. After I had my first cluster of TCs, got much worse and more frequent. I don't know if it's even the meds or the epilepsy. Either way, I have them too. The ER here in the States couldn't do anything in my case. I wish you the best of luck. That just sounded horrible. The US couldn't help him at all, he said.
I'm gonna take off, guys. My daughter's home, so I'll try to check in if I don't sleep. Hopefully, I will sleep tonight. It was great to see all you. Have a
You
great night.
too. Thanks for stopping
All right,
by.
Amy.
Night.
Have a good one.
Pookie, they couldn't help or they wouldn't help.
But yeah, that's a shame. I think he said they couldn't.
Yeah, I think he
But
said
to
they
feel like they
couldn't
couldn't
help.
help is a dead end. You know, that could have been a paperwork thing. We can't get you an appointment for 3 months. The ophthalmologist is going to be the one that has to make a diagnosis to get you the treatment, and you can't see them for, you know, whatever certain specialists can make time. So there's a lot of ways I can see the US not being able to help. There's similar, go ahead.
No, that I just said okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, this isn't the one about the healthcare system. Somebody asking, does anyone else have a similar experience to when I had a seizure a couple of days ago in the car? I wasn't experiencing any anxiety. It was sunny outside. The sun shone through the trees, casting a strobe light pattern. This triggered my eyes to start fluttering uncontrollably. Then I saw flashing lights on a car, which made it worse. My jaw and arms started shaking. After it passed, I felt confused and dazed. My brain felt like it was spinning. After the event, I was more sensitive to stimuli than usual. Any light, especially flashing patterns, triggers my anxiety. Last night, when I was trying to sleep, I would almost fall asleep, but then a wave of anxiety would hit me and it triggered me to shake a bit, and I was seeing odd patterns and flashing lights behind my eyelids. I will also mention that I was experiencing a similar sensation of my brain spinning. It was different from vertigo. So this person is just questioning what's going on. They acknowledge that they definitely have anxiety because they concluded that the trip in the car was not anxiety. Jaw and arm started shaking after the strobe light pattern from the sun. Anybody else get like a seizure vibe on that one? That could definitely be a
That
trigger.
might have been a seizure vibe.
Yeah, it's definitely possible for sunlight through like filtered trees to trigger a seizure. And then that same sort of light pattern reflecting off of cars, like they said, makes sense. That sort of thing would only compound it. But it would also compound it if it was anxiety and they were starting to freak out over the sort of sensations that they were feeling there. So it's hard to tell from at that point.
Well, that would make sense because the anxiety episode they're talking, or the next episode they're talking about is describing at night. So it was after the sensation on the car ride, and that's when they actually had reactions of the jaw and arm shaking. but they didn't describe any tonic kind of like stiff reactions.
It still
So
could be a
maybe that
seizure.
was an anxiety thing too. Who knows?
Yeah,
That definitely sounds like a
the
taking notes.
delayed nature is kind of interesting. It's if it was a photosensitive trigger of those seizures, then they wouldn't be having them at night in bed that late. Not the same seizures, at least, right? But
He
if
is
they were
describing
thinking
them
about
different, it
yeah.
sounds like. That
Oh,
when I was
I
trying
would.
to sleep, I would almost fall asleep, but then a wave of anxiety. But in the car ride, he had the jaw and the arm and made a point of saying the second sentence, I wasn't experiencing any anxiety. So maybe the theory is that, this car ride episode lowered some kind of threshold. Has anybody ever put together a seizure lowering your anxiety threshold? Does that make you more likely for an anxiety attack kind of later in the day just because you're feeling out of it all post-ictal? I mean, you know how we feel stupid after a seizure.
I think
So I was
I
thinking
think I
somebody
know
that
what
has
you're talking
anxiety.
about.
Yeah, so somebody who's already has like a anxiety propensity might, that might translate to a quicker, like easier anxiety attack if you're already not
Yeah,
feeling so good after a seizure.
the anxiety's already working. It's the stress threshold
Okay,
that
so overall
they're stressing too
advice.
much over what might or what could have been a seizure, and it, you know, it it might be showing and giving them more anxiety at the same time.
Some of the comments agree with that too, just saying that this is what I experience all the time. Photosensitive focal seizures with bilateral spread. If you don't get it treated, it could spread into tonic-clonics. Advocate for yourself. You know yourself best. Take notes, go to the primary, get the referral, and go to the ERs if you ever hit your head. A lot of people with epilepsy too say that driving through like construction zones, bridges, things that have like those regular lights that are really bright. Passed 4 cop cars on the side of the road with their flashing lights going. Shortly after passing, I felt the pressure building up behind my eyes, and it was like I was about to get the tunnel vision. If there was traffic on the road, I would have pulled over. Oh, this person was driving. Thankfully, it never progressed, and I just had the building pressure for 2 or 3 minutes. So you have that pressure, don't drive. And eye fluttering is usually part of an aura, is what some of the other comments are saying.
Yeah,
I'm more likely to spread
there's
after getting
different
that sensation.
things like the eye stuttering could be a seizure, but going back to like Pookie's question earlier, can it cause one? No, I don't think intentionally doing it can cause one, but if you see someone doing that, they could be having a seizure.
Raven, you ever have these feelings, I guess, on car rides or construction sites, and anything ever kind of translate?
I don't think I'm photosensitive, and I fall asleep in the car like a baby, so no, I can't really relate to that, but it sounds like more than just anxiety to me.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
I got something. It says 19 with epilepsy. How do you balance wanting a normal life with the stuff that triggers you? 19, honestly, I just want to live life like everyone else my age, late night weekends, gaming till sunrise, maybe the occasional party, the usual young chaos, but epilepsy feels like it keeps me fenced in. The meds help, but the constant, end quote, you need a strict sleep schedule warnings feel like they cut me off from a lot of what makes being young fun. Everyone else seems to live on energy drinks at 2 a.m. laughter while I'm stuck watching the clock wondering if pushing it will set me off. For anyone else or who's close to someone with it, do you always find ways to bend the rules or do you keep it all strict all the time? How do you keep your life feeling free and not just, in quote, medically safe? Any small hacks that let you still live your life so like you're not missing out? I'm not looking to be reckless. I just want to know how to look back and feel like epilepsy stole my youth. I just don't want to look back and feel like it stole my youth. For you guys, I don't know many of you guys. Oh, I think all of us here pretty much got in our youth. Oh, except for Jeff and Raven. How'd that go, you guys?
How did it go?
Oh no, for us that have had it in our youth, like Angel, Kate, James, and Mark, we had it in our youth.
Oh, but you said Jeff and Raven, how did it go? So I
I said for
misunderstood.
without Jeff and Raven, that's what I meant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Everyone else besides Jeff and Raven, you guys, we had. Oh, Mark didn't have it in his youth, but James and Kate and Angel did.
Please excuse me. Go back to regular programming.
Thank you for clarifying the host question.
Sorry about that. James and Kate and Angel, how were those youth days? Did epilepsy ruin your youth? It did not ruin my youth. I got it at 16. I wasn't, well, yeah, I did kind of live it a little reckless. I just didn't think about it as something I need to worry about. And that was young me. I was just at one point, I was like, I'm having a seizure, bite my tongue and go to the hospital and come back. And yeah, so I was living reckless. I did not live on a strict schedule, as this says. And I did not live life not just feeling medically safe. There were no hacks and there's nothing you're missing out on. It's just, you'll look back on it and think like you didn't miss anything. There's not much to miss out there. I mean, like once I got this age, I could tell myself like I didn't miss nothing. If I would have missed the things that I didn't do, I didn't miss anything special. Besides having children. But Angel, how was your youth? How do you balance wanting a normal life with stuff that triggers you? Sleep didn't trigger me, so I just avoided nothing basically. Just lived life recklessly.
I don't think it affected my youth as much as it should have or would have. I don't know how to say it.
Could have.
But I mean, I just took it as okay, so I can't do this now, but I still have to take some precautions and just do it this way. You know, if I go out, I got my wristband on, I got my emergency meds. You know, people know where I'm at. And that was the thing, you know. It's like I never drove, so I still got to work in my youth. I did things, I went on roller coasters. That's probably the most unsafest thing I probably should have not done.
No, I beg to differ. You
I
rode
love roller coasters.
You rode
You probably
dolphins,
did.
Angel. That was the most reckless thing. Roller coaster is nothing. At least it's people controlling it. You can sue if something happened, but you
Yeah,
got
you're
on a dolphin.
sitting in a chair and you're strapped in. Roller coasters are safe as hell, man.
Compared to riding a dolphin, Angel was on 2 dolphins standing up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you live life, man. You lived
You
it.
can live it. You just got to take your precautions. I was wearing a vest, so I wouldn't drown. So
You lived
Were you
it
getting
smart.
pulled by a boat?
Angel, that's the
no,
coolest thing I ever heard.
He showed me a picture. He was on top of it. He was biggest smile I've ever seen Angel have. Yeah, he was
yeah,
on. He had the thing like this, and you can see the dolphin standing at his feet, and he's just like, "Yeah." Angel looked happy as ever.
I can imagine.
Superhero
Why
vibes all
not?
the way.
Yeah, you
it was
lived
so
it, man.
fun.
James,
They
did
were so
epilepsy
smart.
take your youth? How's your,
Not
how's your
really.
boy balancing your youth and triggers?
My first one was 19 as well, like this other person. So I guess it just, yeah, like, not being able to, drive, having to, start relying on other people to get it, get around, that the first time I had my license taken away. Then I got it back and had more, and it, eventually I gave up on it and stopped driving. So I guess, yeah, still trying to get my license back and having driven after, the first one, because I wasn't taking it, super seriously because I didn't really know anything about it. And like I said before, the first few I had, it would be like one a year, whereas now they're, once every month or so. Like I said, I had one just last Thursday, so it's been, less than a week now, even since my last one. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it really took away too much from me, because they didn't start getting as frequent until, I want to say, like the last like 5 or 6 years, in my mid-30s. So yeah.
There you go. Live life.
The great Kate, how'd it go for you?
Very well. I definitely had a great childhood, and after 16, I would not blame any fuck ups on the seizures.
So it did not take away your youth. You weren't reckless about it, basically.
I don't need to get into all that, but yeah, no regrets. Let's just leave no regrets.
You lived it like Angel, except you didn't ride the dolphins.
Yeah, but now that's got me thinking, if we were to relocate, where can you do something like that? Is that all Mexico too? They got a place on the other side of the border where you speak English, and you can definitely get some more time with the dolphins. So yeah, I might consider Mexico too.
I wonder if they let me ride dolphins in San Francisco. I don't think we have dolphins, to be honest.
Yeah, animal activism is probably a big
Yeah, that was
deal
in
there.
Cancun. So
That's
I was
what I'm
laughing when
thinking.
James looked at me. James like, we don't have dolphins.
Yeah, sea lions, man.
You
Go
can't
out there.
trust those things.
Yeah, oh
Hey, it's
no,
better than rolling
I
around with the
wouldn't either.
manatees here. Anybody ever knows you're rolling around with manatees will cut your head off.
Sea cows.
I got some comments here from that.
do you ride in Florida? Crocodiles?
Oh
Yeah, I
no,
heard
there's
you guys
signs.
got
There's nice
crocs
little
out there.
signs. There's these cute little signs everywhere saying "Watch out for crocodiles. Don't feed animals." Everywhere.
Like
Yeah,
that close to you in town?
yeah. You see when I'm walking around the lakes, not supposed to go near the lake.
There was a boy who was killed by an 11-foot alligator in the river on the bridge down the road from my parents' house, like a quarter mile.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Like two and a
It
half
was this
years
summer.
ago.
Oh, that wasn't the one. No, never mind.
It
Maybe that was
may
supposed to
have
go.
been a different one, but there
might
was,
have been-
yeah, there's a lot of boys getting eaten by alligators in Florida. Like statistically, this is where it happens. I don't know, it might bug me if I don't look it up, but I could look it up. I don't remember the name of that river that's right here.
I
don't
hear a
know.
lot of stories about like snakes eating people's cats and house animals and stuff. Is that really happening?
Well, the snakes are bad. Yeah, you can, there's actually like an open hunting season on the pythons. You've gotta like, yeah, they're actively encouraged to go and kill pythons here. Because people had them and then they got bigger and bigger and bigger. Until the people realized that they could no longer care for this gigantic snake. So they think, oh, we're living in this tropical climate, just set it free, it'll do fine, without thinking about all of the other wildlife all around here. So yeah, it's an especially big problem down in the Everglades because people have gone and released them in this like protected, endangered uh, 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 national park.
Reserve, yeah.
And they're going, some of these pythons are getting big enough that they're able to eat some of the biggest alligators in that ecosystem there, which, I mean, eating the top of the apex predator, that's throwing off everything in the whole thing, the whole food chain. So, yeah, hunters are encouraged. There's licensing and you can go. I don't think there's any limit on the number of pythons that you can kill if you go and hunt them. So, if that's your thing, I don't know.
It sounds fun. I mean, snakes and put it together, killing snakes. Sounds fun, like shooting at least.
And saving the environment.
Is it an open carry state?
You know it.
It actually just a few days ago, just last week, I think, there was a judge that ruled that the ban on open carry in the state of Florida was unconstitutional. So, the time period for that, ruling to take effect was a 2 week window, so it's about to become an open carry state in like the next week or so, week and a half. But it has been a constitutional concealed carry state by amendment for a while. What was it? I think about 3 years or so ago. Uh, Concealed carry was, or permitless concealed carry was passed by voter amendment. And I don't know whether it was that amendment or the federal amendment that this judge was referencing when they were ruling that open carry was unconstitutional. But yeah, it's about to be you know, concealed or fully open. If you have a firearm, however you want to carry it, you can. Within reason, there are still, whatever areas were previously already prohibited So, you can't go and carry into a doctor's office. You can't go and carry into like the dispensary. So there's, but responsible firearm owners who already knew where they were allowed to concealed carry will already know where they're allowed to open carry. At least that is the logic, and I believe that is pretty sound logic personally. Um, but yeah, very long answer to a pretty short question, but there you go.
You're the go-to for Florida, anything.
You're the go-to for a lot of anythings. But we strayed away from this post with a 19-year-old with epilepsy, and I'll read a few comments before we move on. One says, "Don't stress Don't stress yourself out too much. Get sleep, have enough protein, and stay hydrated. Party on." Also, are you doing keg stands today? Having enough protein is a thing, because I've not had a lot of protein sometimes, and I know that's a big deal. I've heard about stay hydrated and get sleep, but in between there, you said have enough protein. It's interesting. Sleep when you need it. As for alcohol, I don't go dry, but I always stop at one. If I know I'm going to be out one late night, I'll just adjust my med schedule accordingly. Don't let epilepsy define you, but at the same time, be cautious and don't push yourself. I don't suggest adjusting your medication. Yeah, and Angela, I'm not doing keg stands. I'm right there with you. But I don't suggest changing your medication times because you want to drink. Then again, I've never been a big drinker, so I wouldn't understand like that. But yeah, I was always told at 12 to 12, stay within that time. So I've always tried to stay within that time range. James, you got anything?
No, not really to add, other than just agreeing with you about, yeah, don't adjust your med time, especially if it's because you're throwing, alcohol in there in the mix too. You're kind of playing with fire then at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, better to fiddle with my med time than to throw alcohol into the mix if I were considering either one of the two. The alcohol does a lot more to mess up a lot of these metabolic processes that anti-epilepsy drugs rely on in order to function in the brain. So that's kind of a more dangerous proposition than shifting the time that you ingest any of these medications.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Not to mention that what these medications do to your liver, some of them do to your liver already.
Got one that says a hangover. A hangover and awful night's sleep led me to cracking my 2 front teeth on asphalt last year at age 22. Live life well, but don't be an idiot like me and take too many drinks while you're forgetting your medication. California, sober. I grew up with epilepsy, no energy drinks or alcohol at all. I do drink coffee. Or soda, but I stopped drinking anything with caffeine after 2 to 3 p.m. Bedtime is no later than 10 to 11 p.m. 11 p.m. is really pushing it. This is all on weekdays. Weekends, I get loose with caffeine and bedtime curfew Friday and Saturday night. I stay up as late as I want to. Caffeine consumption is also more lenient. This kept me sane while controlling my seizures for the most part. Now I'm 33-year-old female. I've added vaping to my list of things that keep me sane while keeping me in control of my seizures. I don't think vaping made it better, but it says I stopped drinking, but that's the only thing I changed. When you're tired, don't push yourself. Eat plenty. Don't stress yourself with nasty come downs and live. I was also 19 years old. I take my medication on time. I sleep on time, and I also run 5 days a week. My seizures are controlled, so I'm not worried about having a seizure. So I'm able to just live my life. My thoughts on this will get me kicked, but I'm on this rock for a good time, not for a long time. Okay, take the way you want it. I think he means smoking something. But this one says going somewhere else while having a tonic-clonic. Huh. I had a seizure the other day, but something different happened this time. Before I was conscious, I wasn't making much sense, and I kept saying it was so beautiful, and I want to go back. And something about that being blue, this was kind of freaked me out. I've had many seizures, but this hasn't happened. Do you think it was my brain making stuff up? Has anyone else experienced this?
That's a
Plenty of
question
people
I've
get
been asking
hallucinations.
myself.
There you go again, Kate, and then Angel.
I was saying plenty of people get hallucinations. Like Angel, you've been asking yourself that because you think you are starting to see things that aren't there?
Well, even situations like what happened when I was gaslit during my marriage and stuff. Like, did this happen this way, the way that I remember it? Or, you know, and people say no and stuff. And It's,
Did you
it happened.
journal long term?
Yeah.
It took videos for me because even when I look back at notes, I still wrote it. It sounded more like from somebody else's perspective. It took actually like Google or Amazon or one of those look at this day 6 years ago to realize that these are the same issues. Like same thing going on right now was
Yeah.
literally going on 6 years ago, and I made some stupid video about it, and that makes a lot like 10 times more sense than anything I've ever
Google
written.
Photos stuff.
Yeah,
It's like, yep,
that's the kind of proof that actually like showed what really happened from my perspective. That's the issue with journaling for me. Sometimes after the fact that I don't even write it how it really happened. So whether it's epilepsy or not,
We got a few
hindsight
comments
is
here. This one says, my partials always included super realistic dreams, and I always come with weird sense of, end quote, that's reality, and I need to be there. I'm not sure if this happens during my TCs as well as because I don't remember them, but could very well have been a dreamlike experience you had. I'm always saying weird shit when I came out. I have tonic-clonics and sometimes simple partials. I stop moving and the same story goes through my head, but at the same time, it feels like the first time it's ever happened, and first time I ever heard it. It's very complicated. Well, your brain is already in overdrive, so obviously weird stuff happens. Last one, I have many. I usually have the same sort of end quote dream while I'm unconscious, only to find out that sometimes I talk during these episodes. Last time I was going on and on about a gigantic squash plant as though it was a warning. I have no recollection of this. You guys have no recollection of something that's happened in the past week?
I've
I have
had it.
no, I have no recollection about nothing that's happened this week or last week, to be honest. Besides, I seen you guys on Friday and Tuesday, and something big happened last week. I can't exactly put my finger on it.
You don't remember the weekend coming over?
I think I would have remembered that.
He's standing
I
right
go by
beside you.
outfits. Instead of like major events, I feel like I've had a great week if I could remember an outfit that I've wore over the last like 4 days.
I put on an outfit to go to the store, go to the taqueria or something. But usually I'm in pajamas or here, I get dressed to do this.
Yeah,
Um,
so you'd think you'd be able to remember it. I can't always get that far, even if I'm wearing my night clothes for like the first 6 hours of the day. I might not remember what I was wearing before that. It's confusing.
I'm not here. I wear pajamas most of the times for unless I go out at least 16 to 18 hours of the day, which is most of my awake time. But I got another one here. It says, anyone on Lamictal feeling lack of emotion, numbness. I have been in this for 29 years now, and no matter what situation I'm in, I feel flat. During those 29 years, I have felt different 2 times, in love once, insane good streak of life where I felt something else, probably joy. I've been on the same dose for all that time, 2 times a day, 200 milligrams. Me too. The lack of emotion and numbness is the question. Anyone been on Lamictal or Lamotrigine?
I've been on it before.
Did you get any lack of emotion or numbness?
I can't recall. That's too far. Those were the Kepper days.
I think that's
I'm still on it now, and I'm more emotional now than I've ever been.
With me, I can tell the lack of emotion and kind of like it's certain things I'm not emotional for. Like someone told me I wasn't emotionally ready for a relationship, and I told her I agree. She didn't want to hear I agree, so that was the problem there. Yeah, emotionally, it's kind of hard to get attached to people, unless you're really consistent with it. But sometimes even consistency doesn't help. My emotions change. It just happens, and I believe it is the medication. And you're not alone if that's what you're thinking. I heard it also builds confidence. It said it's a boost of confidence in the what's it called, side effects on Google. It's like, what? Confidence booster? I never took it like that. Yeah, Raven, I see the look on your face.
Maybe I
Look
need
it
to
up.
switch to that one.
Look it up.
Like confidence, I could use me a boost in that. Yes, please. But obviously the other things are not good.
I can't
Or you could
exactly point
interpret
out
it
what's
as
on
those
it.
like don't give a fuck side effect as confidence. Like I forget what they call that.
I would be okay with giving fewer fucks. Just in general, all of the time.
Yeah, I think that's me. I kind of not give a fuck about a lot of stuff. Like I was saying earlier, there's like a lot of change over here by my feet because my Alhambra jar under this desk has my change in it. But it seems every time I'm walking towards the change jar, I never want to put it in there. So I just take it out of my pockets and throw it under the desk. And now there's all kind of change on the floor under here. And yeah. Might seem a little lazy, but eventually I'll be on the floor picking up all this change. For now, it's under the desk and you can't see it. It's about at least $2 and change, dimes and nickels. But hey, Rick.
How's it going?
All right. Has any of these medications caused you lack of emotion or numbness?
Yes.
It wasn't lamotrigine, right?
That's what I'm getting on to now. So the jury's out on that one. Definitely not Keppra, but the Depakote really did. And lacosamide, I think, dulled everything. But definitely Depakote was definitely one that did.
Have you guys felt like that with any of the medications? Do you feel like your personality, your emotional is like kind of dulled?
It dulls you.
I was personally told that you don't seem emotionally ready for a relationship, so that I know. But how do you guys feel about that? Any of these medications make you emotionally numb?
Briviact and Fycompa. Briviact daughter in extracurriculars that I wasn't as enthusiastic as I should have been about, and Fycompa was considering an abortion.
I think right before my not January of this year, but like I'm thinking January of last year, somewhere around that time range. I was on Briviact, Vimpat, Clonopin, and the methoxamide, and I was completely like doled out, or if I wasn't doled out, I was knocked out.
James,
Like I couldn't give a feeling.
how does your medication make you feel? Any lack of emotion going around?
I don't know. I feel like I'm like I don't know. It just depends on like the mood I'm in. Like sometimes, just for no reason, I'll hear like the first 5 seconds of the song, and I'll just be like, "Oh, I'm so sad." I just I don't really know why I'm so emotional or so upset about it or something. Like it's just like a light switch for me. And then other times I'm just simply not giving two shits about anything. So, and it's definitely the meds, but since, like I said, I've tried so many different ones in the past, I can't remember, which, I guess, type of emotion came with which med at the time.
Yeah,
it's been too many years.
I'm gonna give you this icebreaker, and then usually you might have a few minutes to think about it, and I'll go through some of these comments. Comments on the lack of emotion in Lamictal. The icebreaker is, if you could go back to any age to stay that forever, what would it be? A few of these comments. One says, "Yep, I also feel flat and numb, 150 milligrams twice a day." Another one says, Lamictal is also a mood stabilizer. I got prescribed this for my bipolar and my seizures. I am more stable now, but the Lamictal will definitely flatten you out, especially if you don't have one extreme to another mood disorder. I would suggest a medication review. I'm also on 400 milligrams of Lamictal a day, and I feel similar. I have talked to 2 neurologists about this issue, but told me that they cannot be the case since it's more stimulating. I'm glad I got to see people saying they feel the same, but of course, I hope both of us can fix it. Yes, my irritability is a ton and seizures, but I'm completely apathetic to most things. It helps my irritability a ton. That's what it is. Rick?
I would like to be 25. because that was when I was Mr. Hot Stuff at work, where I was the young person who was brings all the new ideas and couldn't do no wrong. That's also when I met my wife. I just felt good. So I'd say 25 would be the year, the age I'd like to get back to.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Good year, it sounds like. Few more comments. One says, not when I was on it. I miss how I felt on it. When I got angry, I would just eliminate that anger taking over real quickly. Name brand was too expensive and generic kept me switching manufacturers and causing instability. So I had to switch drugs. It kept my bipolar like issues at bay. I live a normal life on 400 milligrams of Exxon. Another one says it made me tired. One says I was allergic. Good luck. Be kind to yourself and have a beautiful day. Is it common to have no auras? I've had 3 tonic-clonic seizures in my life, 2 at 18 and then 4 months ago. And I'm 28 years old, 10 years apart, and I can't even wrap my head around it. I see people here talking about auras or strange feelings prior to a seizure, and I've never had it that I can recall. It's like 1 minute I'm fully present, and the next I wake up on the ground, confused. I can remember everything vividly up to about 10 seconds before this last seizure. It concerns me how I can completely go from fine and not noticing anything to a full-blown seizure. We all wonder how that happens. Just wake up in the ambulance. First comment says the same thing happened to me. I don't feel anything like an aura or anything warning me that I'm just gonna have a seizure. I don't even feel when I lose consciousness. I'm just doing something and suddenly I wake up and my body is in pain and wanting to vomit. Is it common to have no auras? I don't have any
Yes.
auras, so I would say it's kind of common because I haven't heard a lot of people say they have auras.
I think it's very common to have no auras or not know what your auras are. I mean,
They
I think a
said
few of us are in that boat.
Yeah, same here. I never have an aura, and kind of pretty similar to like what the original person was asking was yeah, I usually don't remember, like 10 minutes or so before ahead of time, and it usually takes me a good 15 20 if not longer minutes afterwards to finally kind of realize what happened and have somebody sit there telling me you had another seizure, you're okay, blah blah blah, and then so yeah.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.